Brad Shoemaker.
Captain Vincent Caravella, excuse me.
Okay.
Formal name.
Ensign Shoemaker, or no, let's
Reporting for duty.
Science Officer Shoemaker.
Now we're talking.
You are absolutely familiar with this here, a Dyson sphere, obviously.
Oh, yeah. That's part of it. It's a skeletal Dyson sphere. It's getting there. There's maybe a few more panels to install. We got to get your installer out here.
Let's just get this out of the way. This is Dyson Sphere Program, maybe a game that I keep calling Dyson Sphere Project every time I refer to it, but it is called Dyson Sphere Program. It is in early access on Steam. It is $20 currently. There we go. Now let's get down to the business of building energy around a star. So as far as I understand it, Brad, a Dyson sphere is a thing you build around the star to capture the energy from the star.
What if you could capture 100% of the radiation of a star?
What if? Dare to dream.
Limitless supply of energy.
What if it snowed in San Francisco? So this is one of them factory building games, and I think it's pretty good. Again, it's in early access, and we'll get into some of that later. But these are the patch notes, and this right here, if you're looking at them, just hit this version 6.165759, which added some things that we'll get into, and is why we're kind of doing this now. I was waiting to see when this would come out, and it is there, the quick upgrade stuff. But let's jump into the game, shall we? We're gonna load up a new game first.
Wait, you're not gonna load Blue Glowy?
We're gonna load that last.
Okay.
We're gonna load that last.
You can't start the show with the glow stopper.
So here is Dyson's Sphere Program. I have to make sure I keep saying program, not project. You kind of start.
I wasn't expecting mechs.
Oh, you never expect the mech. Here's your kind of avatar here, this mech. This is a game, if those familiar with the other types, a game in the Factorio and, in the Satisfactory genre, but this is much more Factorio. Factorio and Satisfactory, for those who want to group them together, are very different games, but you do build factories in both of them.
What do you propose to name that genre? The automation genre?
Glorified clicker. I guess the factory building games. There are many of them. Factorio, I think, and Satisfactory are probably some of the most popular. So what you're gonna do here, the end goal is to build that dang Dyson sphere, right? And it's gonna take a lot of resources to get there. I'm gonna jump through some of the basics right here in this early game. Some tutorial stuff will come up because this is where you start the game. But like any factory building game, you start with your little avatar or person or whatever you have, and you can
crystals, and
you just start mining stuff. There you go.
Okay, all right. I want to hear about your game opening build order. You're gonna put 6 drones on the crystals, right? Maybe like 5 on lumber.
It's funny. You should say that.
So the guy, you got to build an extractor.
What I would do is go, interesting thing about this, which again, all of these games are, all right, let me show you. I'm going to get ahead of myself. I got to pace myself here. This one might take a while. So in this game, you have the mech, right? And the mech has fuel. So you don't have hunger or anything like that, but you do have fuel. You kind of use your analog. So what I want to do is get fuel because I'm going to run out, and activities take up fuel. So as you can see down here, the battery charge is going down as I start mining. So what I'm going to do actually is build an extractor to extract coal. So let's go to gathering. Let's get this mining machine. And this game allows you to place these mining machines over the nodes, and you kind of want the most efficient pattern. The more nodes you capture, the more efficient and faster you'll be.
Go up one more. Okay, left one, and then there.
You like this.
That's 7.
You like this.
I think 7's a good number.
So you have grid snapping. You can turn that off if you want and kind of just get in there, and if you're some kind of maniac, and get in there and get in there without it. But I understand why you do it. I've done it before too, but then it kind of just throws everything off later. So anyway, let's drop this down, and you got little drones.
Facilities is not powered. You need to keep it within the power coverage area.
Okay, that's a tutorial, man.
With power facilities.
Saying we need power, so we're gonna put a little wind turbine here. And the radius of this turbine determines what's in its power range, right?
Okay.
So there we go. That's our first little mining operation.
Start with wind turbines? That's just like limitless energy. Well, I guess you got to worry about Gotta worry about when the wind is blowing, I suppose, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can't watch TV.
TV or mine coal when the wind's not blowing.
They're you don't get that much energy out of them. So
Okay.
our mining operation has ceased now because we're full. The hopper is full on this little machine. So I'm going to take this and put it from the mining machine, and this is my inventory here. I'm going to stick it in my inventory, and then it starts up again because it has a capacity of 50, right? With me so far. This is some pretty early basic stuff. So what we're going to want to do is now throw that into our belly, and now we have our battery's going to start recharging there. So
your mech can just eat coal directly?
Yeah, just eat it up. Yum, yum, yum. So if we want to then start getting other stuff, our mech is the thing that is making these things now. We don't have a factory yet. Our mech is the factory. So that's our mech panel. Let's go into our replicator. So here are the things we can make, the component parts, and here are the buildings we can make. And so if we want to make another mining machine, we can manufacture it off of these component parts. And this game builds off of other factory games, and it's smart, and it feels like the next step on these. So it will build the let me see if I can phrase this correctly. The kind of component parts for the component parts. Does that make sense? It'll drill down what it takes to build this thing. So if you just have the raw materials, it's smart enough to then build this magnetic coil.
Oh, okay. It skips the intermediate steps.
Yeah, you don't have to build the magnetic coil if you have the raw materials for it. So if you click on this, you can see I can produce one. If I could produce more, I would say, okay, every time I click this button, produce 10 of them at a time. But I could only build one, so even if I set this, it's just going to say, all right, well, you can only build one, you idiot. So I'm only building one.
Seems like some smart automations in the UI.
Yeah, nothing too groundbreaking, but it is nice to have out of the jump there. So we're gonna start building that, and while that happens in this early game, this is the basics. We're gonna build a conveyor belt eventually that's gonna come out of here, and we're gonna start feeding the factory. But you have on here at the starting zone, you have is this stone? Looks like stone. That's stone. You're gonna have iron, which are those crystal-y things. This is copper, and you're gonna start making miners on these, and then eventually build them into a big factory. And this is kind of how you start out on your little planet here.
God, I love the tiny planet thing.
Yeah, tiny planet, little Mario.
Little Mario Galaxy, a little Animal Crossing, just kind of the little curvature on the huge thing.
Hey, Brad, maybe I'm huge.
Can't get enough.
Maybe these are well, these would be big trees. You can also use the trees as power if you want. So a big part of this is the technology tree. Ooh. So early on, this is the first thing you grab. Early on, some of this stuff is just going to take component parts. Right, here we go. So I need 10 magnetic coils and 10 circuit boards to start getting this smelter, which is important. So I can activate that, I can track it here, and we can go to town. So this is the big kind of, oh boy, here we go. We want to get Dyson sphere in.
Mission completed. Great, easy.
Yeah. Just get to there. So get all this stuff, which actually happens a little faster than you might think. But then you also have your personal upgrade tree, which is here. And these also take different kinds of upgrades. This one I found a little bit slower to go, like column by column is kind of how this one goes. And
is that just like convenience stuff? Like that look like what, just faster movement and stuff?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like hey, the drones move a little faster that come out of you to build stuff. Your power goes, and I mean, this stuff is important because you'll tear your hair out if you don't have it. But this is what gets you the big building technologies, and these kind of more feel like personal upgrades. Though some of this stuff might not be. Some of this stuff is like, hey, this is more than quality of life stuff. Like the sorting, stacking, and all this stuff. It's you're gonna use it to build a more efficient factory. So let's get back out here, and we've flagged this one, right? And you can queue up. I forget how many, but it's like up to 6 or 7. We could just queue them up now.
Oh, these take time. Oh wow.
Well, you have to meet the requirements, yeah. So you can queue these. But then after
you do that, you still have to like wait for minutes or something.
Nope. After you meet the requirements, it'll chew through those things. If I build 10 of these and 10 of these, it'll basically start ticking down immediately and be like, you're done, and then it'll move on to the next one. But eventually, you're going to get into stuff that takes research. So you're manufacturing research, And so you've got these queued up, and then you put on 7 things and go eat dinner and go to sleep, and the next day it's done your research.
In real time? Like you can close the game, right?
No.
No?
No. I don't think this happens in the background. So, I mean, listen, I'm joking, half joking. You do other stuff while it's going, right? You get ready for the next thing. So let's just try and do this and see if we can, what it'll take. This might take too long for this quick look, but let's see. So let's go back into the, I forget all the hotkeys, F. So we need to build 10 circuit boards, and we're going to be missing copper ingots, and we're going to be missing the, so we need to make these, and we need to, so we need copper, and we need iron, I believe, for this thing. All right, so let's see how quickly we can go over there. This is early game in all of these types of games. So we run over here, get a little jump. Woohoo!
It's quite a jump. So you're just a robot, right? There's no base anywhere. There's no civilization. You're just kind of like here in this system by yourself, hanging out.
Yeah. So the game starts with a little scene of you kind of on a ship, and you're dumped into this solar system to build a Dyson sphere.
Hey, robot, go build a civilization.
It's not. You're building the energy for the central brain. I forget exactly what they call it. Yeah, like you're on a mission. This is a project.
Let me just refer to the Freeman Dyson Wikipedia page here. Is that, are we talking, let's see, Dyson Sphere, Dyson Tree, Dyson's Transform, Dyson's Eternal Intelligence?
I think they call it it's something brain. I forget what happened. Wait,
I know. Oh, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. What is it? It's, is it a Boltzmann brain? By any chance?
I don't think so, but it's a brain.
No, that's. I'm sorry, Boltzmann brain is. Hang on.
Okay, so while you look that up, I'm going to manufacture here.
I'm going down a horrible rabbit hole here. No, I remember now. A Boltzmann brain is a very different concept.
So let's see. We've got the copper. I think I must need more iron then. Oh, that's stone. Yeah, iron. All right, let's go get that iron. So you can see that it's manufacturing in my queue, right? It's got to do each component part, and it'll manufacture. Let's go back here, and then I'm going to skip ahead to something a little bit further along here.
I'm sorry, I've got to tab back into the game. I can't keep staring at this, or I'm going to try to explain this to you, and that's a terrible idea.
Needless to say, your objective here is to build a Dyson sphere. That is what you're trying to do. Okay, here we go. We're going to build these. And then we're just going to get this upgraded, and I think we're going to move along here.
Check out some blue glowy.
Yeah, we're going to go to the quick look, and then blue glowy will be... Okay. Blue glowy is the done turkey. Okay. The quick look is the preparing the turkey to put into the oven.
Dinner ready yet, Dad?
Yes, and blue glowy will be... in the interest of time, here is the turkey. But you kind of get the idea, early game stuff, right?
A Boltzmann brain is basically it's basically the idea that random fluctuations in I guess space-time or maybe quantum fluctuations could arise in such a way that perfectly like matches what the arrangement of a brain's like neurons would require to achieve consciousness. Does that make sense?
Of course. Like everybody knows this.
It's really hard to explain.
I think I hear what you're saying. Like at some point the magic of science can simulate a brain.
Like, it's sort of this, given infinite time and infinite variations, eventually, like, the quantum fluctuations would arise that would replicate a consciousness that thought it had existed for some period of time, and then it would blink back out of existence again.
Love it, Brad. So you can see this research finished. Now I can make smelters, which could do some of the automation work for me. What I really should have done is conveyor belt. But you can see my point was it'll move on to the next research, right? Yes. So if I had enough stuff there... I could go eat lunch and it would just research it. I would also need to feed my core here with more stuff. But we're gonna load into a little bit more or a much further along factory here. So these games are interesting as they kind of move forward also because you learn the language of these games. It's a little bit. I think of it a little bit like learning programming languages. Like you once you know what you're looking for, you just got to figure out what that language, how it does it, right? Like, how does this? Where is the smelter? Where is the splitter, how is it doing sorting, and there are concepts you're looking for. So
yeah, it's a lot of like input-output systems and logic gating and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like clicking stuff. So
yeah, sure.
So here we have the kind of what I've done now for mine, which is so a couple of terms that people threw around. This is stuff I picked up from Satisfactory and Factorio, playing those games. You have different kinds of factories, manifold style factories, and all sorts of different things that will make sense if you dig into it. And so what I have now is this extractor pulling out the copper. It then runs along a line here. And then each one of these smelters is making these copper ores, right? Cha, 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 cha. They then dump their copper ore, or their ingot from the ore onto this main feed here, and then it goes into this storage unit, which then dumps it back out. So something interesting about this game, if you're familiar with Factorio, it has a kind of a similar thing. I'm going to delete this. So everything needs an input and then some kind of output, or at least most things do, right? So it needs this smelter here. I'll build it again. That's why we do this on the quick look thing. So that would be under production. Yes. So you build a smelter. You can see the kind of little tabs around it. That's kind of a perimeter that you want to keep clear because you're going to build your input-output devices. So I build the smelter here. A little drone comes out, builds it. And then you have to feed it. So here are my different feeders. You have Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. They're just, they have different stats in terms of speed usually, and then how much power I assume they'll use. So I'm just going to put in a Mark 1 because this conveyor belt's kind of backed up anyway. So I don't have any. So let's go Mark 2. So I'm going to feed it. I start here and I feed it in, right? Bang. So now it's getting fed the raw ore, and now I output the ingots back to the line. And there we go. And then I click the smelter and I say, what are you supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be making copper ingot. And there we go. Factory running. Got it.
I assume all of this is in service of you probably need like 18,000 copper ingots for your next objective.
Yeah, so these games kind of evolve as you go on. You're kind of just figuring out, like, you tear your factory down and rebuild it 1 billion times. That's just how these things go, right? So eventually I got into a space that was like, I think 6 smelters on these seems to fill up a line pretty well. Without getting too much into it, you get into all sorts of theories of how you do this. Mainline, do you want main lines? Do you want, like, hey, I just want, what are your raw materials, right? It's the ingot is basically kind of going to be used to manufacture a lot of other things. So do you want main lines of copper ingot, iron ingot running down, and then split those off to commit other factory crimes, like making everything else? Or do you want to, where do you want to branch? It's really interesting. It's part of the more interesting parts of these games of how efficient is your factory. You eventually get into things of like, actually, how efficient is my factory? If you're making, a certain amount per minute, what does the next thing have to do? How many of these per minute can it make? And that's tuning your factory is a whole other thing, and probably a 17-part web series somewhere.
I'm also noticing how efficient your strip mining is up here in the north. Like, I see that you've kind of just clear cut the planet to get all this going.
Yeah, so you can actually. So here's my power plant up here. So I'm building. So you can see the Earth is kind of curved here, right? And if I put on a construction thing, you can kind of see, this is where this game gets a little funny, but also kind of interesting. Kind of see the grid has to condense, to account for the curvature. So if you're building on this will be more apparent if I do a conveyor belt. If you're building along this grid, suddenly it has to.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Yeah. So people have said, as I've looked stuff up, build your lines along the equator and the going horizontal here, so you don't run into that. But I didn't follow that. But anyway, here is my factory, and I have put foundation down here to pad over the beauty and splendor of this planet. Keep going.
Nothing stands in the way of progress.
No.
God, I guess it occurs to me you would basically have to consume like 100% of a solar system's material resources to build one of these things, right?
So
like
that is
you would
what
have to turn every single planet in the system into the sphere, right? You would need to.
That is kind of what we're doing. So you can see here, this is me dropping down Foundation, which is nice too. If anybody's played other games like Satisfactory, you can change the size of this thing for how much.
Oh wow! I was gonna say, like, I haven't seen Factorio in motion that much, but this seems like it really splits the difference between that and Satisfactory, where you've got like this nice big overview view, but you can straight up just go down here to third person.
Yeah,
kind of get both.
I found it a lot more Factorio than Satisfactory. So things that I'll just say right now, if you're watching this, if you're familiar with Factorio, they say in the early access notes and what's coming that there will be a bit of PvE stuff of like the animals. I have not encountered any yet. I don't know if it's in other places, but you know, that you'll be defending your base or having natural encounters with the wildlife. So that might be coming because that's a big part of Factorio and kind of a fun part.
I want to say I read that stuff's just not in yet, the enemies or whatever.
Yeah, also they say there'll be mech customization, which isn't in now. So this was my early wind farm here. So the big thing that is similar to Factorio is you are developing quote-unquote science or research or whatever it is. That's what Blue Glowy is. So Blue Glowy is, you're making these glowies, different color glowies to eventually, and we'll get to the tech tree here. Let's go back into here. Sorry, where's my tech tree? Here it is. And you see it's chewing away these different glow boxes here, right? These energy matrices.
Oh, your energy matrix. And
yeah.
Your electromagnetic matrix.
And so you can see where I am on this tech tree as I've chewed my way through now. And, you know, it's slow going, and I need to speed this up, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Energy storage. So this is happening in the background. Now it's going to tick down on these, right, as I make the appropriate thing. My factory is running. But you can see as I get further and further, I've got more stuff I need, and eventually... Oh, no, that's not a good example either. Hold on, let me get to a better example. Eventually, you've got to get, you know, structure matrix and this information matrix. So, you know, you're basically building the things to build more science. And if we go into upgrades here, you can see that I've kind of hit this wall here as well because I have not gotten information matrix yet. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah. Any rough estimate on how many hours it took you on this one?
I think I'm about 9.5 hours in here,
okay. Well, that's
and that's kind of like, you know, am I starting over or like deleting? You know, it's a lot of deleting factories when you're like, oh, there's a more efficient way to do this. You know, you've got to find resources. So my problem now, my bottleneck here is these bits here, which is part of the oil production. These little things here are coming in so slowly that it's not feeding these science things fast enough, these matrix labs fast enough. They're struggling, and you can even see these are stacked 3 high. I don't know if you can see that, but this is 1, 2, 3, and you can stack these. And these aren't even producing, and these aren't even getting any to produce. So only these 3 are active, and that's super inefficient. So the thing that I would need to do is, let's go over here. I'm going to show you some of the other upgrades here now, too. Ready, Brad? First one.
Sure.
Walking takes a long time, right?
Yeah.
Why walk when you can fly?
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Okay. Sure. So let's fly over here.
Fuel and stuff?
It does. And this is my oil production. It makes hydrogen, I believe, and then refined oil. But really what I want for the science is the hydrogen, and right now my refined oil is kind of a waste product because I haven't built the thing that uses it yet. So that's all being stored in these tanks because if it can't offload the oil, the whole factory stops. So I'm just storing that oil right now as I collect the hydrogen to be used for manufacturing here. But I need more, Brad. And
always need more.
And if you look at this line here, you can see it's not really backing up beyond here, right? Which means this isn't, in my estimation, my humble opinion, this isn't, like, pushing more oil here isn't the problem. I need more refineries, and I need to do this again to feed this line. So
they're not making any investments in green energy, huh?
Nope.
Sticking with the oil. Okay.
Right, sure,
hey,
listen.
That's a choice.
Listen, we'll get there. Hey, as of this patch, ain't nothing living on this planet.
That's fair.
I guess the trees, but like, they're just
all disposable.
So what I was going to do here is just kind of show you quickly. This is an oil seep, they call it, and this is where you kind of pull the oil out. So the way this kind of works is you go in here and get your gathering tab, get your oil extractor, and you can rotate these around. I'm going to put its butt facing this way, and he's going to build it out there. And now I've got an oil. Yeah.
Sorry, how forgiving is it to tear stuff down and rebuild it? Like, is it satisfactory? Like, gives you all the resources back, right?
As far as I can tell, it's the same thing. Like, you just get the oil extracted back.
I love whoever made that move first. Just decided like that's the rule for these games. It's not like, oh, you're only going to get 60% of the stuff back when you have to tear stuff down. It's like, no, you can just rebuild it immediately.
Yeah, so this thing comes down because you're doing this all the time. And so what I really want are 2 of these. That's what's feeding this line, and this is what I've decided is probably efficient. I mean, if I looked at a guide, maybe they would say you get into all sorts of things, but I want 2 oil extractors, and there's another one over here. It's also probably worth mentioning I have this set to build God mode, which just I think basically just means when I go to build, the robot doesn't necessarily move. That probably doesn't make sense. It's like he doesn't have to, like when I'm moving this around, the robot's not moving there. I could have that wrong. I've had it in God mode for so long, I forgot what the other mode is. It's not anything like, hey, you can build unlimited stuff. It just has to do with the view. Now that changes. Okay. It's a toggle. You can toggle in the settings. So let me bop out of here. So now I've got these 2 things. What I'm going to want to do is use belts to join them up so they are manufacturing along the same kind of path here, and I'm just going to do that. And you kind of build within the vicinity of your robot. These drones come out and they build, so you do have to be within a certain distance of the thing you're trying to construct.
Oh, huh. So do you have to like manually walk that whole path to get it to?
Yeah, it's a vicinity. It's not like right next to it, but these are upgrades you can get of like drone speed, drone efficiency. I think I would assume length that they can go. Let's go here. And you can kind of see where I'm headed with this, right? I'm gonna drop some power here. The oil is gonna come down. So I'm gonna actually skip ahead now. Now we go into blue glowy.
Oh,
finally.
Waited for this.
So this is my main save. So I'm not gonna save it, but eventually I'll reorient. Here is that extractor. Here is that extractor. They join up now, and I've recreated this thing here, and I've recreated this thing here. Maybe not the most efficient thing, but I just wanted to get it done. And eventually we're kicking out hydrogen again, and it joins this path. And Brad, now look at these things.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. They're all humming.
Now, well, except for these.
Most of them.
But we're getting there. And that's the loop, man. So that is
that's a lot.
Yeah, as you use more, you need more.
Can you just do me humor me, pan over to the star a little bit? Can you just show me how much of the Dyson sphere you got going over there?
None. I'm not okay. Brad, I think people who are watching this kind of understand this so far, right?
Yeah.
So let me show you the next. Let me show you the next thing.
I assumed there wouldn't be anything there. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, it's over there. But why would I show it to you, Brad?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Whoa!
When we can go there.
What? You see that sun?
See that sun?
You can go there. So...
Oh shit, I should have brought some more fuel.
Are you assuming a stable orbit? What's going on here? Okay.
No, I'm going back down. I'm gonna fill the tank up. Yeah.
I mean, my intermediate question before you obviously haven't started actually building the sphere yet, but this process you're going through on this planet.
Yeah.
I see that there are other planets in the system.
Yes.
Do you get the sense that you were going to have to go through the same loop on every planet before you can really fulfill the objective, or?
So there are. Hold on.
That seems like a lot.
Good question.
You have to go build this up on every one of those other planets before you can really get going.
Oh, this is also very nice. This statistics panel, but not necessarily what we want to show here. Where is the thing I want to show you? So. You can go into this is this planet, right? You can
that looks so cool.
Yes, I'm absolutely destroying this planet, but we are here, right?
Oh, this is great.
And you can click on the planet, so you can see on this planet here, Jabba 3. There is no silicon or titanium.
Okay.
So we have to find that somewhere.
Okay, yes. It's very much the Astroneer thing of, okay, this planet has these 3, and this planet has those other 2, and you can
But Brad, here is the G-type star, right? Okay. Where one might build a Dyson sphere. But Brad,
yes.
What about all these other stars?
Oh my God. This is too much.
What are we gonna? Why not build one around?
I was gonna say, are you even assigned a star you have to build around, or you get to pick even that? Good lord.
Brad, how many Dyson spheres do you want to build?
This is too much.
So that is why I was saving this for now. It is a little.
God damn it! I can't stop throwing out names of astrophysicists in this video before we finish. What was the scale I was just reading about recently? Is the Kardashev scale? Are you familiar with it?
No. Kim Kardashev. That's about it. Is that the scientist?
Nikolai Kardashev, a Soviet astrophysicist, but it breaks civilizations down into 3 tiers based on how much energy. How much of the energy of a a planet, a system, a star system, or a galaxy they can use. So
yes.
Essentially, if you were to Dyson sphere every star in this galaxy, you would be a Type 3 civilization on the Kardashev scale.
If I remember the shortcut, what is a Dyson sphere? Here we go. Are you talking about this? According to the classification of Kardashev civilization level, first-class civilization can develop and utilize all the resources of the planet on which it inhabits.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, look at that!
Yes.
Space is cool.
Space is cool. So I'm gonna load up here, and we're gonna go set sail. I've gotta get they fixed this in a patch, or they made it more efficient in one of the patches. But where is my? Sometimes keeping track of your damn factory can be a little tough. I ran out of fuel flying around the galaxy, and that was not fun. So I'm gonna bring a little backup fuel this time with me, and then we're gonna go set sail. So I have this thing. I'm gonna bring as much of this as I want here. That should be good. We'll load up the tank. Drop this in the chamber. So there are different types of fuels. This is not the most efficient for like a coal-powered mech. While that sounds neat, it probably isn't the most efficient way. You can build other types of fuels, plasma cores, or whatever you want. All right, let's fly, right, Brad? Let's go.
Yes.
So, so sail mode, right? So we can go to these different planets now and check them out, right? Let's go over here. You can speed up and slow down. It does take a decent amount of energy, but let's go to Jabba 4. And we can kind of hit tab here, I believe. And now we're off to our, start a new factory. And then you'll be sending materials to these planets, because, things will need stuff, and you'll have interplanetary transport and, all that stuff. So this is kind of where I stopped to do this quick look, because I think this is kind of like the next big level on here, and this is probably where it goes from me having spent 9 hours to me being in the at least 20-ish to establish some of this stuff. Yeah, you come in hot. But yeah, we would go kind of look around here. I didn't double check and make sure this is the... boy, I think they did make that more efficient flying around. Where the silicon... Was it titanium was the other one that we're looking for? And I can check on the map and check all the veins and stuff. But that is what kind of makes this a little bit different than a Factorio. Or, it is different than Factorio. Oh, here we go. Here we go, Brad. So, I'd come over here, and I'd start...
Factorio.
There you go. Now you got it. I'd come over here, and I'd start, mining... man, they have a lot of cool menus. Mining all this stuff. There we go. And then
silicon.
Yeah, I'd start making my veins there. But before I end here, I think people understand what this is. We're gonna fly back over here. I'm gonna show you what made me so happy about the patch they just put out. There, shift makes you go faster. You can see how much fuel that burns trying to go faster there. It's very. I have not tried flying through the sun yet.
I was literally just about to ask if that's what you were going to do.
Well, we should do it.
There's no time like the present.
I don't know if there's like a death state.
I know you haven't gotten there yet, so you probably can't answer this. But
okay, I passed the planet.
Oh boy,
I was looking at Jabba 1, not Jabba 3. So we'll go here. I'll show you this last thing.
Wait, is that a gas giant?
And then this guy here, yeah, I think he doesn't have anything.
You should.
I think he's like plural. I mean, I guess he's got fire ice. I don't know.
Try to fly into it. See what
it's
happens.
An ice giant. Okay, you got it. Here we go. Coming in hot.
Oh boy.
Coming in hot.
Oh boy, he's gonna fly right into that big old mess of getting stuff.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think he's just orbiting it.
Yeah.
Like not landing on it.
That's probably for this. There's nothing to land on.
So that's probably, I bet that's what happens with the sun.
You're probably right. So the thing I was going to ask, I mean, you haven't gotten there, so I'm sure you couldn't say for sure, but I wonder if there's anything to do with a Dyson sphere once you build it, or is it just like you put the last panel in place and then the game is like, all right, thank you for playing, or like if you continue and like can use it for stuff, or...
Well, how many do you need for the central brain or whatever, you know?
Oh, right, okay, sure.
How much energy are you doing? So this game is early access, and it's important to know that because stuff changes rapidly. So, a thing that was added, see, I'm gonna do space travel. Not so great on coal, surprisingly.
Yeah, I can see it.
The thing that was recently added, which was like, when is this coming, was this upgrade facilities thing. Which, as you go, you get better belts and you get faster sorters and stuff like that. And prior to this update, you had to go upgrade one panel at a time or delete one at a time. You know, you have to delete the way you delete a track. I just won't save it, but you delete these like this. You kind of hold this down and paint over it, right? And like that. Nobody's doing that. So now you can go, if you have I don't have any built, but you can click on this and then be like, all right, well, we're upgrading these, or we're upgrading this whole line of these.
Oh wow, okay,
yeah,
yes, that's way better.
And I believe
so pretty fundamental stuff still being added to this.
Yeah, and I believe there's also a delete like that now too. So you can go here and you can hold Shift and just delete that whole line, which is just, you know, like I said, I think I said it before, it's like, how much BS are you willing to put up with? That's kind of what these games are. And like, are you going to make this super hard for me? Are you going to make this easy for me? How much am I willing to put up with? And things like that have to be there, because at some point you've built this whole factory, and the only way to make it more efficient is to upgrade your trains of materials. And going in and having to redo all of that there was no doubt in my mind that was coming. I think they even said it was coming. It's happening fast, and I think they are iterating pretty quickly, which is a good sign for this game. Yeah. I think they're doing smart things. I like it a lot. I think exactly what you hit on is where I'm at with this game. Do I want to start going to other planets and doing this and right now, or do I want to wait for more upgrades?
Yeah, it's with the amount of stuff they're adding to this. I mean, anecdotally, it seems like it's kind of really taken off. Like, I see a lot of people talking about it, so hopefully they're selling enough to really double down on putting stuff in.
I think I still prefer Satisfactory. I love Factorio, and it will always have a place in my heart. Factorio, I'm finding more fun multiplayer. I think it's because I've made it so far in that game and had to restart that I think it's more fun multiplayer. Satisfactory has a much different vibe, and it's a much different game. And I've had to restart there as well, but like, there's something a little goofier about it. There's something, you know, it's got that whole fix-it trapping, and like, you know, walking around with your coffee cup and looking over your factory. And this feels like the successor to Factorio, not Satisfactory.
Okay,
in my mind.
That. Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, like, you also get into this kind of like RTS style creep sometimes. You know, like when you're doing research upgrades in an RTS or something, and you're like, okay, you just got 17 new units. I don't even know what I got, but like,
Sure.
I'll build them at some point. Like, oh, I just built the barracks, and like, you can build 5 new units. So like, I just queued up all these upgrades. I'm not even sure what they do, but anything that had red and blue, I was just like, yeah, fill up the queue, because when they're just going to happen in the background. So I might as well just queue them up. And that's on me. That's not on the game. But you know, anything that's is this blue? There's a purple.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good. All right. And then this one's purple?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Good. I didn't want to
wave function interference, of course.
I mean, you could see what these are. You know, you say, oh, titanium crystal, sure, of course, right? And then, like, of course, you'll get this structure matrix, which is important. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think the tree, I made much more progress on this tree than I thought I would. And they have this mainline thing to help you out. That's like, hey, you're trying to get that Dyson sphere. Let's just go along.
Oh, you know I am.
Yeah, so let's go along this main quest line here, and this is where mission completed. Mission completed.
Love to advance civilization to a more glorious future.
There you go. The game will continue after completion.
Yes. seems like a lot of game for $20.
Yes, and they also say the price. I don't know if they say will or may, but go up after early access in their early access notes. So
I can see it.
Yeah, if you've seen Factorio or you've seen Satisfactory, know that this is a bit different, but it's in that genre for sure. I think it does a lot of smart things. I think it's building off of those, and some of the things you have to work a couple of hours in to get in those games, you get out of the gate here, which is nice. The way it does sorting is a bit different. You have to relearn. If you're coming from those games, you're gonna have to relearn a little bit, but the basic concepts you've gained in those games will help you out here. If you know how to build, trains of resources and manifold systems and all that stuff for production, and you're gonna be looking at Wikipedias to see efficiency. There's something here that I hate. Because it scares the pants out of me, but this question mark here that says accelerant, and that's probably a thing that's like, I would assume that means, and people might know because I'm not in the scene, I'm not on the Discord for it, but I assume at some point you'll probably be able to boost certain machines to increase their efficiency so that you are then like, oh, this produces 50 per minute, but these things use 75 per minute. If I could get these up to 75 per minute, then this would be a 100% efficient line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like tuning machines and factories is a level of factory building that is that I'm not there at this game anywhere near. I'm there a little bit in Satisfactory, but not quite here yet. So anyway, hope that it kind of gives you a look at what's neat in here, what's a little different. Yeah. I like it. I like it. It has earned a place in this genre, I think, already for what it's doing, and it's kind of pretty. It's got a posy vibe to it, I would say. The music is real kind of, optimistic, looking forward to a better future kind of stuff. Yeah, it's somewhere between the gritty part of Factorio, like Factorio's got this kind of gritty, like you're making machine guns and, watch out. And listen, you're making automated rifles in Satisfactory too, but Satisfactory is like kind of goofball, and this is somewhere of the like. You're just making energy, man. This is pure science. Yeah, this is just it's science in the spirit of cooperation and mutual betterment. Humans are. I don't even know where the humans are. For all humankind, they'll show up eventually. They like to take their time. They like to let somebody else do the work for them. This might be post-human, Brad. I guess that's true. This might be like AIs running the show at this point. That's true. How far away do you think the sun is? Probably too far for us to get to, huh? Can you just gun it? Yeah, I'm gunning it. Stand on the accelerator. I am standing on my sail speed. This coal-powered robot. Fill the tanks up. I should have started this. Oh, it's okay, I see it. Yeah, see it. I could probably check the map and see how far away, how many astronomical units it is. There it is. I think it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger, Brad. Getting bigger. What do you think? You think you get into something like this, or like... Maybe. I would definitely wait for it to be finished, just like the... Oh, forget it, Brad. These things are never finished. Factorio is one point, though. Fair. But even then, it's not finished. Stuff like the manual conveyor belt upgrade, because that automation feature wasn't in yet, like stuff like that would drive me crazy, just knowing that, like, I bet a lot of this would be just a lot smoother and less, or more frictionless when they add... Well, you're getting there. Yeah, I bet I'm just going to orbit it. Once they get the accelerants and all that stuff in, I bet it would just be a lot smoother of an experience. Oh my god! Ah! Oh boy, that's a slingshot right off there. Slingshot right off of it, yeah. I'll just say this, in Satisfactory, and I'm sure they'll do this here at some point, they just added a new resource at some point, which was I don't know if you remember, like, broke my whole factory because you needed water now. Water. Water. But then, you go in, you bite that bullet, you start, I got sick water plants in there. That is the Dyson Sphere program.
You got
program, not DSP.
Program. That's right.
Cool game. I think they're early access again, but it seems like they are on top of those upgrades, and I'm enjoying it so far. $20 on Steam early access. Thank you very much, Brad.
Yeah, it seems cool.
Yeah, it is cool.